Okay. But we know that this object is still the darkest, even with those lighter areas. Okay. I don't want you to obsess on the outline. What we want is to be able to see the tonal relationships set one against the other. Okay. So right now I'm not making this as dark as I need it to go, but I'm making it pretty dark. All right. And here's a little tip for you. Okay. When you go to judge your darker areas, which includes the rice pot and some of the cast shadows, you're going to make the judgment about the darks comparing it to your darkest dark here, okay? And when you make comparisons that go towards the light, like the orange and the white piece of paper, you're going to judge the orange by the white piece of paper, okay? And that way you don't get your lights too dark and you don't get your darks too light, okay? All right. So this may seem like, oh my goodness, she's just filling this in, but we have to start adding tone, right? And I want you to go right away into the background as well. I know that my background, I have a black background out there, which is darker than the light side of my pot, but then it's the reverse on the opposite side. So I'm going to start laying in that tone using parallel diagonal lines, okay? And you see how I'm holding my charcoal? It's very far at the opposite end of the tip, okay? All right, so we're going to start laying this in, all right? Leaving that white piece of paper white, okay? All right, I'm going to go on the other side. And the reason I'm doing this right away is because we want to know about the tonal masses, not the outline or any of the details in your specific objects, okay? This goes right down into the cast shadow of my apple. All right. Now when we look at our objects, okay, it's easy to see the dark one and the light one. But now we're going to have to start thinking about the middle objects, okay? All right. All right, I'm just trying to quickly get in some values here. I know my table is darker than my piece of paper, and I'm adding these strokes in horizontally, okay, to give a sense of the solidity of my table. All right, you don't want to go up and down for the table, you want to go horizontal, okay. So I'm quickly laying these all in. Okay. All right. So when I look at my still life out here, I know that my apples are darker than the piece of paper, okay? But they're lighter than my rice pot, okay? So let's start adding that value in. Get my shape here. So I'm gonna make a guess at first, okay? All right, this is my first guess at it. And you can start to see how when you start laying in the tones like this, like I realize that I need this at this value, and that means I have to go again and start darkening my pot. So as you're working on each object, starting to add that tone, you're going to have to, again, maybe darken this one or lighten this one. Okay? All right. But I know that my orange, if I look at that, the orange is lighter than anything else but the piece of paper. The orange is lighter than the tabletop. The orange is lighter than the background, okay? So this orange is closer in value to the piece of paper, which means that my background has to be darker near my orange and my piece of paper. Okay? And if the paper is perfectly white, then the orange is a tone down from that. And you see that I'm not spending a lot of time drawing the outline. I'm trying to create tonal relationships. I feel like this has got to be darker now. Okay? I need some value space for my orange. Okay? And you're going to go back and forth, balancing the relationship and the values. And remember that I don't want no hard outlines, okay? I want my eye to move freely from tone to tone in the composition. And my edges, as you see, are very soft. We'll harden a couple of them, but not much, okay? Because we want to look at the very, the area of the tonal values. Okay, and don't forget about the table and the background. Okay, so I just want to show you quickly where I ended up. This is what we're looking for in our drawing. Okay, in the pot, I've left a little bit on the light side here and added highlights. The other objects pretty much is just one value, and on the darker apples I pulled out a highlight. The paper, white of the paper, okay, I had to really darken the background to bring that out, okay, but I didn't make this hard, no hard outlines, okay, and same thing, there should be a free flow between my objects and the background or the table, okay? So don't go crazy sharpening things up, all right? And then on the next lesson, I'm going to talk about some of the techniques that you can use to bring these objects and tones in better relationship to one another.